Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. Um, Last night I came home from an awards thing for the magazine, and Michael and I were catching up about our week and Halloween party and whatever, and somehow we got on the subject of Scandal. And he said, I don't really get the show. And I was like, how do you not get it? It's so good. And he said, well, I feel like that show has you rooting for the other woman. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, I don't know, isn't Olivia Pope like the mistress? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, I feel like that show has women like rooting for the mistress, not the wife. Like women want him to end up with his mistress. They've convinced themselves or been convinced that she's better for him, that he shouldn't fight to stay with his wife, that he should be with his mistress. And now I know what the show's about. I watch the show. I know that I love Olivia Pope and Fitz together. I knew already what he was saying in my mind, but I heard the words coming out of his mouth and went, oh my, I think you're right. I think I have been rooting against the wife. I've been rooting for the mistress. That is real. That is something that has been happening. And we started talking about that. And, I've gotten numerous letters over the last year since I started Coffee Talk from women who have written me who are in emotional turmoil, either because they are the other woman or because they know their husband has another woman. Mistresses, affairs, outside relationships, whatever, have been around since marriage started. This is nothing new. There are 1,000 reasons why people cheat, but I want to talk specifically about the women who believe that they will be the one who makes it different. Sure, we've all heard the urban legend stories about the man who meets the mistress and falls in love and leaves his wife and marries her, and they have a perfect relationship where she never doubts whether he'll do it to her. And it's all wonderful. And she really was what he was waiting for. And his wife really was an ogre. And all of that. We've heard that urban legend where it does work for someone. Let me tell you something. Those situations are the exception, not the rule. Do they happen? Absolutely. Like Ross Geller said, Jurassic Park could happen. They do happen. Occasionally, someone's marriage is miserable. They do meet someone else. It is the person they're meant to be with, and it does all work out. Is that the norm? No. Being the other woman is a very lonely place where you are essentially required to be a fantasy girl, to be fun all the time, to look beautiful and sexy and beyond all the time, because his wife lives in real world place where they have bills to pay and flu shots to schedule and dinners that burn and in-laws and holiday planning and like kids running around and 10 pounds from the last baby and 5 from the baby before that and scars and nursing boobs and like who forgot to take out the trash life. So as other women, so let me go back. When I was young, I was about 20. I couldn't drink yet in bars, but I was like 20, I had a boss who I adored. Now, we never had an affair. Let me just put that out right now. We never had an affair, but I filled a void. We went to lunch. We went to hear bands play. We hung out. And at 20, I didn't know anything about marriage. I could care less. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat it. I didn't care about his marriage because I didn't know anything about it. And I just did. If he didn't care, why should I care? That's how I looked at it. But I was always the fun girl, right? Always the fun girl. But whenever I needed to, I started to notice, it took me a while, that anytime I needed to talk to him about anything, really talk to him, it's not what he wanted. That's not what he wanted from me. And it starts to become very lonely when you realize you are a puppet in somebody's life. You are expected to always meet when they want to meet, only talk when they can talk, only do when they can do. And when you're together, the expectation that you'll have this amazing sex all the time, because isn't that what you do in these amazing secret relationships? By the way, not rooted in real life in any capacity whatsoever. Ask any married couple when they have the best sex. They will tell you when they are away from their home in a hotel, or when they've had a couple of drinks and they're in a car somewhere. It's somewhere away from their real life, right? You are always away from his real life. It is very easy to have great sex and be super romantic and amazing when he is never around his real life. But guess what? That is not real life. So I am speaking to the woman right now who is feeling like she's dying inside, like she doesn't understand how she got here. She wants to be the victim, but she knows she's not, because victims have no control over their situation. This is something that you walked into willingly. You willingly believed the lies that he would leave, that he was unhappy, that his wife was an ogre. But the longer it goes on and he doesn't leave, the more you are forced to realize that you ate his lies. You're looking back at years of your life going, how did this happen? Months, years. This is not what it was supposed to be. He said he would leave her in March. He said he would leave her in December. He said he would leave her in June. But we're still here and he hasn't left. But I'm still here and I'm still doing this. And the fear of not being the fun girl, that if you bring up anything that's serious or anything that serves you and not the affair, he will say, I didn't sign up for this. This isn't what I want. So you say nothing and you continue to be the fun girl, putting on the act. When the truth is that inside, you don't understand why he's not choosing you. You want to be chosen. He promised he would choose you and he's not doing it. And you can't understand why, because the only reason you agreed to continue doing this was because he agreed to choose you, but he's not. Yet here you are. Always looking over your shoulder, wearing the scarlet X, knowing that at some point someone will call you a homewrecker or a whore. And none of that is what you signed up for. Yet that is where you are. The truth is this. Unless the woman was my best friend, I wouldn't blame a woman if my husband had an affair. I'm smart enough to know where affairs come from. I own that. Michael and I have had low valleys in our marriage, where both of us have looked for things outside of this marriage to fill voids. That's what affairs are. That's what golf is. That's what eating donuts at 3 o'clock in the morning is. That's what drinking 2 glasses of wine when you come home every day becomes. Ways to fill voids. You have to decide when you've had enough. You have to decide where you no longer want to be somebody's beck and call girl. You have to decide, and you can tell yourself, I'm fine with it. It feels great. I don't need anything else. I'm fine with being just this. And the truth is, maybe you are, but most likely you aren't. And when you hear stories about men whose wives are ogres, who eventually leave and run off and marry their mistress, I will tell you, it does happen from time to time. Sure, absolutely. But I bet if you got all those now newly married mistresses in the room and questioned them about it, they would tell you, A, they don't feel great about how it all went down, but B, that part of them worries that he'll do it to her, and she should worry that he'll do it to her. He may not, but old habits die hard, I know. I don't have any judgment against anybody who makes any decisions in their life. The only thing that I really want for anyone is for them to live as close to being the person, the woman they want to be, in peace, being loved with the love they deserve, not being hidden, always having to meet in secret places. It all seems very alluring and romantic in the beginning, but the truth is it's not. Lying and deceiving people is not romantic, no matter how you wrap it up in fancy lingerie or secret text messages. The truth is it just is not romantic. It's taxing on everybody involved. If you are the person in this relationship right now, I swear to you, I know you don't believe me. You don't right now, but you are worth so much more. Fight for your own relationship. Set yourself free, because you will never feel enough in this situation, ever. And when you go to him and you say, I saw something today that made me think, and I don't think I can do this anymore, he will fight tooth and nail to keep it going. Because even though there's part of him that really wants to end it, because it's a struggle for him to keep it going too, his ego needs it. His ego needs it. You were created to be outstanding. You're not meant to serve anybody's ego. That's not what you were created for. So set yourself free, make it right, and go find the love you deserve. I love you so much today. Have a great day.